This is Just a Sec by BINA. One of the tracks that I've had on repeat and I've played many times on this show. And I've had her on the show before, actually, back in 2021, and I had to get her on again because she's one to watch, right? I feel like she's got a very bright year ahead of her. She smashed last year. She's another artist from South London, so I want to know what's in the air and in the waters. Indie soul, addictive music, sexy visuals, raw lyrics. She's got us hooked, and she just finished supporting Yasmin Lacey on her European and UK tour, and she had a sold-out show herself, and she's got some explaining to do. We need to know, what are you putting in the music, BINA?
Oh, girl. You know what? I have gathered my notes. I've got my case together.
This is serious.
I'm afraid to say, Your Honour, that it is the result of some very emotional times. So I'm really getting my feelings, and I guess that's where the lyrics come from. And as for the beats, I've just been really blessed to meet some really cool producers along the way. It's given, like, I like to call it like creatively dating. Like, I will just like, you know, go to sessions and like obviously meet a lot of producers and see how we vibe. And then, you know, obviously the ones that I vibe with are the ones that I make the music that you guys get to receive with. So
is there like any spells that you put in these songs? Because it's far too addictive.
Do you know what's so funny? Okay, there's no spells in here. I'm here to, you know, just set the record straight.
Yeah, clear your name.
Clear my name. But I know, like, some of my homies like to make this joke because I am a Scorpio, and they're like, oh, she's a witch. And I'm like, no, like, I
think there we have it. It's because you're a Scorpio.
Have I just incriminated myself in court?
Yeah, because Scorpios are so deep, mysterious, addictive.
Yeah.
There we go. There we have it.
That's... I mean, we might as well just end the conversation there now.
We've cleared the mystery. How has your year been so far? What did you do to see in the new year?
I actually was very much... I had a very chill time. My friend came to see me, and then I just was like, okay, get out of my house now because I'm going to just reflect.
I love that.
And like,
what did you do? Like grab her coat or?
Like it was actually like one of my guy homies. Okay. I was just like, yeah, bye bro. Like, nice time.
It's been nice.
Yeah, it's been real. No, to be fair, no, I actually told him from like the week before. He was like, oh, what are you doing for New Year's? I was like, oh, we haven't linked up for a while. So like we can link up, like let's link up. That'll be good. Just chop it up, catch up, and then like leave me alone for the evening. Respectfully, like all love and stuff, but okay, I need to reflect. I just like to see in the new year quite like reflective, so I literally like just set all the lights low, candles, just had like a little think. I actually ended up reading back on my journal from like 5 years ago because my homie who came to check me was literally like, oh, you should like reflect on where you were like 5 years ago to now, and just like, you know, maybe it will like help you really deep how far you've come type of thing. And I was like, yeah, that's a good shout. And I read my journal and I was like, wow, I actually have come like a long way, and like not even just with music and stuff, because obviously that's one thing, but also just like as a person as well. And I was really proud of myself and really grateful for all the amazing times and the growth that has got me to this point. And I just like literally reflected, and then called my mum and was like, Happy New Year, and texted all my friends and was like, Happy New Year, and stuff like that. So it was really chill, but that's kind of how I like it. And I did like have a few of my friends like invite me to things, but I was like, I'm just gonna just bake off on my ones, you know? So that's what I did. Okay. For New Year's. What did you go to?
I stayed in for the first time ever.
Did you?
Yeah, so I'm hoping that I'm going to see the rewards of that throughout this year.
Yeah, and imagine having like such a chill New Year, and then you're like...
hectic.
Like, do
you know what I mean?
I hope so. I feel like it will help to like stabilize us, because I do feel like it's going to be like a fun, like busy year ahead. So like I will do all the enjoyments. Like, it wasn't that it wasn't enjoyable. It actually was. That's exactly how I wanted to spend my New Year's Eve. But like, I'm like, it's going to be busy, probably, hopefully.
Yeah, well, I mean, if we're looking back at your 2023, that was very busy.
It was really busy, like right up until the end.
Tell us what you were doing, because I only mentioned just a few things.
Yeah, I was doing a lot of things. So, I mean, to be honest, the whole year was really busy. Like from May, it just kind of like picked up pace. So I played Cross the Tracks in May, which was really fun. That was like one of my favorite shows of the year. So I did that, and then played a few other festivals, did one in Italy, obviously went on tour with Yasmin Lacey at the end of the year, and at the beginning of the year went to Bulgaria with IMDb. That was really fun.
Wow.
And then did my headline show just before the Yasmin Lacey tour. I'm not doing this at all chronologically, as you can tell.
It's fine.
I actually released like a couple tracks this year. So obviously Dopamine was the one we closed out the year with. And before that was Just Like Her Father in June. And it's just been really cool to see people like respond to the music so well, really love it. And I'm like, wow, like this is so like heartwarming. And like, apart from being able to run up and down the world and like do all these shows and meet people in real life, it's also really cool to get messages from people, like whether it's like here in the UK or like internationally, and them just being like, yo, like this song really hit me, like I really resonate with this and this is why I resonate with it, like literally telling me personal like stories about things that are happening in their lives that are helping them like have the track either as like a fun soundtrack or genuinely like as a source of healing, and I'm just like, or like grounding, and I'm like, that's really special. Like that's not something I have taken for granted at all this year. So
because I was going to ask you actually if some of the feedback you've gotten from people listening to your music has made you even listen to your own music differently.
It has. Like, I mean, it's really like consolidated that the experience I have in studio is what people have when they actually get to hear the music. And it's like when I listen to my music, I'm like, wow, like I can actually feel the emotions again, and like not in terms of like reopening a wound. It's like in a completely different way. It's like, oh, I've actually got through to the other side of whatever I was healing from in the writing process. And I look and I listen, and I'm like, wow, I'm listening as myself, but also as all the other people that have like messaged me or just let me know that, wow, like your music actually really impacts me. And it's very affirming. It's really affirming and like self-assuring, I guess. And I mean, if no one messaged me, I'd still make the music because I'm like, because
you got people in a trance. If they're not messaging you because they're in a trance, they're lost in the loop of the music on repeat. Also, I want to talk about your lyrics. I feel like the way you write is so, I don't even know how to explain it. Like it's poetic, but there's like, you're telling stories. Tell us about your writing process.
You know what, like I've realized it actually varies. Like when I first started making music, it was very much like the same. It was like I would just like play a beat and then like have my phone on voice recorder and just like say whatever comes to mind. And then sometimes it would be words, sometimes it would just be melodies, and I would just make sense of the sounds I'm making. But like recently I've actually really been enjoying writing pen to paper. But I still have the phone there because like to catch like melodies and stuff. So I would like catch the melodies. Sometimes words will come through as well, and then I'll be in studio with the producer, and I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna put my headphones on and like hear what I've said now. Then I'll like write it down and maybe change some words. Often I actually keep a lot of the words the same. But yeah, I've just been enjoying writing pen to paper because I can actually see the story being painted, if that makes sense. And I guess like depending on the producers, it can be different. Like I remember when I made Do Not Disturb and Blackjack, I just wrote those on my guitar, and then I was in studio with the producer and he could play guitar as well, definitely a lot better than I can. I've literally only been playing for like 2 years 3 years, and so he'd play the guitar again or play over what I did and just build a whole world like musically around it, and I would then sing the lyrics that I had written off the top of my head on the guitar. It's almost like it's like my brain and my hands and my voice are all like connected, and maybe something outside of my brain as well, because I don't think it's a very cerebral process. Like it's not something I really think about when I'm writing. It just kind of flows out of me, I would say. And I don't know if that's something that every artist says and you're just rolling your eyes like, oh, like
I'm actually not rolling my eyes, but it's so interesting. So almost like do you think it's like a spiritual thing?
Definitely, it's definitely spiritual. Like I feel like I channel my lyrics. Like I don't feel like it's something that I sit down and think, like I'm gonna write about this today. Like I just sit and I will either hear sounds, like whether it's like with Dopamine, the first thing that I heard was like the drums and the keys, and so I was just like, and then I don't know, I just channeled the flow and the words and everything. And I think it's the same with, regardless of exactly the mechanics of how I write the song, I think it's the same in terms of I feel like I channel it like from a spiritual place. For sure.
And what about your visuals as well? Because visuals, we're talking about the outfits. Yeah. We're talking about the videos. Yeah. We even just talk about your Insta.
Yeah.
What's like fueling and what's fueling the visuals?
Well, I just really love the visual aspect of art. Like I think obviously music is my primary like expression of myself, but I also paint and I also really enjoy film and fashion and stuff. So I'm like, it's very unlikely that you will ever see me in like a jeans and a white top. Or, like in my music video, I have to pull out the stops. Do you know what I mean? And it's just because I really enjoy that part of the creative process, and I'm really also blessed to work with really sharp visionaries, like when it comes to the visual. So Naya, who's directed the last two of the last 3 videos that I have put out, and then Udo as well is like another photographer and creative director that I work with, and they're just both really just amazing at hearing the music and understanding what I want to translate visually. And sometimes I'll come to them with like a concept, a brief, like a vague treatment, and they'll flesh it out. Or sometimes in the case of like Dopamine, I showed Naya the song and he was like, yo, I have this idea, and he like made this whole like mood board and like put all the references together with the track over it, and I was like, yes, exactly, like you get it. And then we worked together on getting the outfits together. Like he put me in touch with a few designers. The stylist on set was amazing as well. And yeah, I think I have gathered like a really great team of people who understand the vision that I'm going for, and it's very much rooted in like, I guess like Afrofuturism, but Afro-surrealism, if you like I'm really inspired by like Solange and Gabriel Moses and all of these like black visionaries that are just making entire worlds that sit somewhere outside of the day-to-day, but I guess you kind of see yourself in, even if you're not black. Like I just feel like it's a world you can like get lost in and just be like, wow. And I just really enjoy that. And even when I go back to watch my visuals, I'm like, yeah, we ate that. Like,
I love that you love that
like,
as well.
It's so fun. Like,
let's talk about Dopamine. And if you just tuned in now, we have BINA, artist from South London, responsible for the addictive music that she keeps bringing out. Dopamine in particular. Let's talk about it, because I've never had something stuck in my head so much as Dopamine.
Hey, hide it from your neighbours.
Let's break it down, because it's about survivor's guilt, right?
Yeah.
Tell us more about it, please.
Okay, so I guess the best way to summarize survivor's guilt, because it's such like, I guess like a hooky phrase, but it's like, what does it mean? It's just like, I feel like sometimes you are struggling your way through something, you make it to the other end, and then I don't know, in my experience it will be like I'll have voices in my head, not literal voices, but like I'll feel like, oh damn, like what if people are thinking like I left them behind, or like they think I'm nice now that I've like managed to get through this thing. And it can be in many spaces. Like it can be like if I have been able to achieve something I worked really hard on, like if I don't know, like when I was at school, I was like, oh, I want to get these top grades, and I got those. Or like when like I was raised in care, for example, and I felt like as I got confident in myself, because I had the luxury of like expressing myself in different ways other than just trying to get through the day to day, I felt like some people would see my changes and be like, oh yeah, like she thinks she's nice now. And like, and even to myself, I'd be like, oh damn, like what if I'm not being responsible for people as I should be, whether it's like friends or other family members that I feel like, oh, I should be, you know, helping them through whatever they're going through too. But then I've realized obviously that's not my responsibility. Like I've got to like show love and be there for my people as much as I can. Yeah. But I would find that sometimes I'd feel really guilty if I made it through a personal struggle and was celebrating if the mood around me on the micro level, like my immediate friends and family, is like heavier, or even on the macro level, like just if the world as a whole is kind of heavy, and I'm like, oh my god guys, like I'm so happy that this has happened, and it's like,
yeah, I know what you mean.
Why are you celebrating? You should be sad with us. And or just feel heavy with us, or that people may think, oh, because I'm doing something fun, like with most of my time, like music, for example, it's like, oh, she must be happy all the time. But it's like, I still obviously go through a lot of challenges, like whether that's like emotionally or just literal, just normal day-to-day stuff, you know. So that's basically where the inspiration from the song came from. And I always find with songs, like there'll be a seed of something, like maybe something somebody said to me or something that I was thinking a lot. Like, for example, as the year got very busy, I was like, wow, like I haven't actually seen my neighbors like in ages, but like I'm meeting all these new people and most of them I don't know, and I'm like, hey love, giving them hugs and everything, and it's like, it's really lovely to connect with these people. But I was feeling like the juxtaposition and feeling kind of displaced, because I was like, I'm just, you know, running through the world on my things, like just doing my thing. But like I feel like I just kind of felt a bit displaced because of all the stuff that was going on in my head, you know. So that's basically the inspiration.
And how have you like found a way to cope with those feelings? Because I can imagine, and even I guess some of the artists that you're now around as well, they may be, you know, a little bit further ahead, and they've probably 100% felt that feeling. Yeah. So is there any advice you've been given?
I definitely, I ask my peers as well. Like I remember one of my like artist friends, I literally was like, because she's definitely like a lot more like ahead in her career, like in terms of just like stages and also just like life. She's a couple years older than me, so I was like, what were you doing at my age? Like, and she was telling me, and I was like, wow, like and even then obviously she was like a lot further ahead than I am, because she started time ago. And I was just like, oh, and obviously she's really wavy as well. But anyway, I was like, yeah, we like, what were you doing and how were you feeling at that time? And she was telling me, and that was really grounding, because I was like, okay, cool, I can see ahead now. Like if I think about my journey as me like in a car on a road, I'm like, okay, these are the potholes I can avoid. And also if I do end up like feeling those emotions too, I know it's okay, because I'm not the only one feeling like that. So that's really grounding. And then also I journal a lot. Like I've been keeping a journal for like 10 years.
Amazing.
I'm like approaching my 10th year anniversary this month.
I love that.
That sounds like so nerdy to say. Oh my God, 10 years. But it's real. Like I literally have volumes of journal. Wow. So I think it's really grounding for me to like look back on my journal and notice patterns, or pat myself on the back for like evolving. And also it's just nice to have that there to write. And also my friends, like I literally was speaking with my friends before I got here, and I was like, it's really grounding, like in everything that's happening, to have my little crazy friends and just like just be normal and do like familiar faces and just do weirdo stuff, like just be nerds like with my friends. And I'm like, that's really grounding for me, because obviously sometimes if somebody comes to my Insta and they're like, oh BINA official, and then they just like see all the visuals. I remember somebody said to me like, I actually feel like you're a lot nicer than I thought you were gonna be. And I was like, why did you think I wasn't gonna be nice? And they were like, I don't know, like I just see you like on Insta serving, and I'm just like, maybe you're just gonna be like, yeah, like just very like not as bubbly and like chatty and friendly as you are. But I'm like, I find it very grounding just being myself. I'm like, the only thing that really changes is what I'm doing with my time, hopefully. And obviously I will grow as a person, but I don't think my essence will change. And these are the things that help. And music, of course.
We need to play your track now before we go to the news.
Let's do it.
Right. And really quickly, where's your social? Like, give us your socials.
Okay. So I'm on Instagram at BINA Official. I'm on TikTok at I am BINA Official. The same for Twitter. And you can stream all my music. It's BINA with a full stop.
Amazing.
Enjoy.
I would love you to do the honours of introducing Dopamine.
Okay.
Over to you.
This is BINA on the scene with Amelia Poamz, and this is my track Dopamine.